So far understood, sir.
Okay, good. Right, let's move. Panga question here? Nothing. Okay, fine. Right? C-sharp comments. Right? C-sharp comments. Right? Comments can be used to explain something. Right? Comments. And once my comment really doesn't affect anything, but it is necessary. So it is a good programming practice as programmers, particularly to really make sure that we try and cover comments so that the next person can actually be able to understand. Suppose wabva company, if you place some comments into the code, right, the next person a programmer in that company will be able to understand what you are trying to do. And there's just one-sided, zvinonakidza kana uriwo usiri kuisira mumacomments iwo ukazowana basa manje kuamerican embassy kuya kwakune system yakadevelopwa neumwe munhu asina kuisa macomments, hazvinakidzi kuzonoshandisa that system because you really don't understand it and people might think hausogona basa, but really code it's a style, isn't it? So we must make sure that we incorporate comments as we are coding. We incorporate some comments as we are coding. Right. So there is what we can call a single line comment or a multi-line comment. Can I think what a single line to put comment is just a statement, just one line. One line. So what do? You put this double backslash, this one. It's a comment. So code marko muno, you just come, for instance, you say here, and you say, I like programming. Right? It will be taken as a comment. Are we together? Right? That's a single line. Right? Then a multi-line comment, we are saying it is a very long comment. Okay? Negative lines, I say, akawanda. So this is how you place multi-line comment. Okay? So in essence, do atinongotima comments. Right? It's not really anything fancy, but we should just appreciate what these comments are. Okay, fine. All right. Let's talk about variables. Right. A variable, in simple terms, it's a container for storing data values. Right. When we talk of a variable, I usually like to give an example of a cup. You know, a cup, you can use a cup to store tea. It can contain tea. It can contain porridge. It can contain sadza. It can contain bread. It can contain anything. It can contain gold. It's just a container. It's a storage location. So this thing that we call a variable, it's a storage space in memory that can be used to store something, right? So it can store anything. It's just a space in memory, in the memory of a computer, allocated or reserved to store something. So it's just a container for storing something. That's what we call a variable. Now, when the variable, it can just store anything. That's why we say variable, it varies. Whatever you want to store there, right? So in C#, there are different types of variables, right? Akawanda, right? But my main ones, it can be int, double, character, string, and boolean. These are the ones that you generally interact with. See these variables, int, double, character, string, and boolean. As I'm not saying they're the only ones, but they are the major ones. Okay, right? So ndo atinoti ma data types. My data types, right? It can be int, double, character, string, or boolean. My data types. So every variable must have a type. Right? Like us, we are of certain types. We come from the family. Me, I come from the Mutero family. So I'm a type of Mutero. You will see if you meet my brother, he is also a type from Mutero. So every variable must have a data type, right? What it stores. In the Mutero family, you only find the Muteros. You won't find the Madziwas. They are in the Madziwa type. Okay? I hope that makes sense. So every variable must have a data type. So how do we declare a variable? We declare a variable by typing type variable equal, right? Mathematically we say equal value, but programming here is equal inonzi assign. So we are saying we are creating a variable which is called variable name of type int or double or boolean, and we are assigning this value. So we are assigning value here to this variable. In other words, chikutoipa chekutosanochengeta, and chatukuipa chi is this thing that we call a value, right? So for instance here, we can have a variable which is called name and of type what? String. Remember, names are strings, and we are assigning the name John to be stored in a variable called name of type string. Then from there we say console dot write line, then name. We no longer put quotes to the name. Otherwise, tikaisa quotes pana name up. What would happen, guys? Tikaisa quotes pana name up. What would happen? Anybody?
Hello.
Yes, my brother.
If you put quotes, it will write name.
It will write name. Thank you for that, isn't it so? But it's just to put it out to John, and so to put it out to John, we just have to write the name of the variable, right? You know, to put it out to John, right? The panel was not Peter later on my assignments. Getting goes a mock scam. Okay. All right, let's do it that way. You see, it outputted Guti John. Remember, I just said console.writeLine. In other words, what is stored in this variable called name, that's why it gave us this. All right. Okay, fine. Another example. All right. Can somebody explain this piece of code? You can only understand code by being able to explain it. Can anybody explain what this means and what is happening here? Anybody?
On the code given.
Anybody, guys? Hello, guys. Anybody to explain this part?
That's it.
Guys, tutorial.
That's it.
Yes, I just want somebody to explain, guys, what's happening up. 2 lines in chat.
We have
Yes, yes.
We have a data type called integer,
Yeah.
and a variable called a number, and the value 15 has been assigned.
Okay. Good. This was
and we are printing the number 5 using console.writeLine number.
right. Thank you for that. So it's just that simple. It's just that simple. Right? So you can choose to say, instead of doing things this way, here Taita Zuzakawand,